Hey everyone, welcome to my channel Any Tech. In this video, we will learn about Python tokens. So in Python, there is a concept of tokenization, which is basically breaking down of code into something called as tokens. So we have different type of tokens like keywords, identifier, literals, and operators. So these are nothing but the smallest meaningful unit that exists in Python language. And why is it important is because this helps in syntax analysis and also the execution of query that we write within the Python language. So basically we have four type of tokens in Python. We have keywords, identifier, literals, and operators. So let us understand all of these one by one. Operators we have covered in a separate video. So today we are going to talk about keywords, identifiers, and literals. So keywords are basically the reserved words that we have within the Python language, and these keywords cannot be used to define any variable name or any function name. As of Python 3.11, there are 36 keywords that we have within the Python language. So these are some of the keywords, and what happens is when I try to define these keywords as variable or function, I will get an error. So for example, I have a keyword called as lambda, and if I try to create a variable with the same name, I'll get an error. So let us verify. So what I am doing is I am going to create a variable called as lambda, and in this lambda variable I am going to assign some numeric value, let us suppose 20. And if I try to execute this, let us see what happens. So now you see we have the invalid syntax error here, right? Now if I define another variable, for example a equals 20, and again if I try to execute this, this is getting executed properly because here a is not a reserved keyword, but then lambda is basically a reserved keyword that we have. So that is why we cannot define the name of a variable or the name of a function to be any kind of keyword. Then moving on, we have something called as identifiers. So identifier are basically the names that we provide to any kind of variable, function, classes, or modules, or any other objects in the code, that is the Python code. But then whenever we provide the names, we have to be mindful of some of the key points. So number one, it must begin with a letter, right? It can be a capital letter, or it can be small letter, or an underscore, but it cannot start with a numeric value. Second, no special character are allowed, right? Only exception is underscore. Then it is case sensitive, and it cannot be the same as Python reserved keywords, obviously, right? So for example, let me go back again. And what I can do is, let me define a variable here. Name of the variable is going to be emp, that is the variable. And I'm giving the name of a employee here, right? So some name I have provided here. So let us suppose Donald. And in the second step, I will write emp while capitalizing the first alphabet, that is E. And then I will provide another name here. So maybe Alex, and then try to execute this. Now as you see, I have defined two variables here. So if I am calling emp, the outcome or the output of this emp is going to be Donald, right? So let us verify. And again, if I try to see the output of this emp with E in capital, the output is going to be Alex. So now you see the output is changed. This is because whenever we define identifiers, that is providing the name to a variable, in that case, we have to be mindful that the identifiers are usually case sensitive. Now let us learn about literals. So in Python, literals are the fixed values that are directly written into the code, right? So if I have to say what is literal, literal is nothing but it is the value that we store in a particular variable. So for example, if I say a equal to 10, so a is variable and 10 is basically the value of my literal, right? These literals are basically used to represent a specific type of data values that are used to initialize any kind of variable, or we can define the constant, and also we can pass the data to functions, right? So for example, let us look at some of the examples for literals. So we can have different category of literals, right? We can have something called as string literal. So for example, if I define name equal to Alice, so basically Alice is the string literal here. Or if I have to greet someone with the greeting, so I say greeting equal to hello within the triple quotes, hello world, right? So this is also one of the string literal. You can use single quote, double quote or triple quote to define the string literals. Then you have numeric literals. Obviously, if I say age equal to 30, 30 is basically a numeric literal. Similarly, pi equal to 3.14. We know that the value of pi is constant, that is 3.14. So 3.14 is the literal here. Likewise, we also have Boolean literal. So for example, if I say is underscore active equal to true, so that means true is basically a Boolean literal. Similarly, if I say is underscore deleted equal to false, in that case, false is basically a Boolean literal. And similarly, there is one more category of literal that is called as spatial literal. So spatial literal is where I have response equal to none. So none is my spatial literal. So literals are those kind of tokens in Python whose value cannot be changed. So that is it for today. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.